Alright everyone, welcome back to another Diablo 4 video. I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault. We're going to talk about patch 1.1.1. The patch notes have been released today, or yesterday I should say, August 2nd, and they will be going live on August 8th. So let's cue up the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, first off, there's a lot of things that are going on in this patch, so we're not going to go over all of them, but I will leave a link down in the description for you guys to go and check them out yourself so you can read them at your leisure. First thing that they're listing is class balance updates. They're saying they've made quite a few balance adjustments to classes. Our goals with this patch are as follows. They want to improve the effectiveness of sorcerers and barbarians while addressing the following for each class. Now for the Sorcerer, they want to improve late-game survivability. Thank you. Let me tell you, man. Ooh, World Tier 4 kills my Sorcerer. Mostly through the Paragon board improvements. They're going to adjust some class mechanics to move away from the Kiss Curse effects. This is where the player gains power but loses power somewhere else. And for the Barbarian, they're going to speed up the flow of combat in the early game by increasing Fury generation on basic skills. And they're going to add late-game excitement by increasing the power of unique items. They're going to strengthen builds that aren't reaching a high power level, and they're going to diversify the use cases for legendary items and other effects that are overly situational. So, it sounds like they've got their thoughts in the right place here. So for the Barbarian, there's quite a bit going on. And we're going to just highlight a few of these things, but as you can see, the basic attacks, the Fury gained is increasing on them. You got some damage increases for stuff like double swing, enhanced rupture, enhanced charge. The mighty charge, the vulnerable duration is increased from 2 to 4 seconds. Violent upheaval. If it damages 2 enemies or a boss, you gain berserking for 2 seconds, increased to 3 seconds if it damages at least 4 enemies. Some of the passives have been modified a little bit. Aggressive resistance, damage reduction increased from 3 to 4%. Gushing wounds, the bleed damage has gone up 15%. Bleed damage when overpowering increased from 11% to 70%. That's huge. Unconstrained berserking damage bonus increased from 25 to 35%. Updated the tooltip to more clearly reflect this key passive's value. In the walking arsenal, bonus damage duration increased 2 seconds from 6 to 8. Here's some of the legendaries. Aspect of Ancestral Force, the damage is increased from 32 to 50 to 40 to 58, so pretty good there. Death Wish, thorns increased from 0.5 to 0.75 to 0.65 to 0.85. It's incremental, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, those kind of small, they seem like small numbers, but when you think about the big numbers you end up generating in a game like this, it really multiplies enormously. Aspect of Unrelenting Fury, Ancestral Charge, Burning Rage, Bull Cathos, and the Earthquake aspects have all got some changes. Looking at the uniques, the Fields of Crimson damage increased from 0.18 to 0.34 to 0.22 to 0.38. Damage that enemies take standing in pools increased from 15 to 20%, and Rupture cooldown reduction affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. That's nice. I like critical strike is awesome. Hellhammer damage increased from 0.6 to 0.8 to 0.85 to 1.1. Pretty good there. Burning duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds, and damage to crowd-controlled enemies affix replaced with bonus critical strike damage. That's twice we're seeing that. So it looks like the Barbarian's being pushed in a direction to deal more critical strikes and do more damage with that. Ramaline's Magnum Opus, physical damage affix replaced with vulnerable damage. 100,000 steps, attacks reduce evades cooldown. Attacks reduce evades cooldown affix replaced with bonus evade charges. That's nice. Extra evade charges are priceless in this game. You move so slow around the board for the most part. Damage against stunned affix replaced with bonus movement speed. So the 100,000 steps is getting faster, and you're getting more evades, which is awesome. Battle Trance battle skill damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction, and bonus attack speed to other skills increased from 10 to 20 to 35 to 45. That's pretty big. Next up, the Rogue is getting a little bit of love as well. Not so many changes here, but again, they were mainly addressing the Barbarian and the Sorceress this time around. Fundamental Invigorating Strike, Primary Forceful Arrow, Enhanced Caltrops, Poison Trap, and Supreme Rain of Arrows are all seeing some changes. One that really should be noted is the Supreme Rain of Arrows. Now the first wave knocks down enemies for 3 seconds. Before it was like the second wave or something like that, which by the time the second wave hit, the enemies might be out of range and all that, so it wasn't working properly. The passives, Victimize, Rugged, and Siphoning Strikes have all seen some changes. A couple legendaries have got changes. The aspect of Elusive Menace no longer requires hits to be from close enemies. Cool. Aspect of Quickening Fog, you automatically drop a smoke grenade at the end of dash. Smoke grenades reduce dash's cooldown by 0.4 to 0.6 seconds per target hit, up to 2 to 3 seconds. That's kind of nice. So if you're in trouble and you dash out of there, drop a grenade, and it hits a couple guys, you're gonna be dashing a little bit quicker than you were last time. Unique's Wind Force all stats affix replaced with vulnerable damage. And Word of Hakan ultimate damage affix replaced with cooldown reduction. I'm seeing a cooldown reduction touched on a lot so far in these first two. For the Druid, we got, a decent amount here for the Druid as well. We got skills, Earth Spike, Claw, Storm Strike, Wind Shear, Maul, Wolves, Enhanced Wolf Pack, Brutal Wolf Pack, Ferocious Wolf Pack, Ravens, Brutal Ravens, and Rabies. All getting some changes to them. Spirit Increase, Generation, passive damage buffs, stuff like that, which is awesome. The Paragon, Lightning Resilience Rare Node, maximum life bonus increased from 4 to 6%. Cool. Legendary's Aspect of Metamorphic Stone, Spirit cost reduced from 60 to 50. Damage dealt increased from 80 to 100 to 100% to 120. So the highest damage dealt is now the lowest on the new buff. Aspect of the Alpha, damage increased from 75% to 100 to 90 to 115. And Mangled Aspect, resource gain increased from 1 to 3. Not bad. In the Class Mechanic Overload, lucky hit chance increased from 20 to 40%, doubled. That's big. Alright, here's one that's close to my heart, the Sorceress. So, skills, Flickering Firebolt, Enhanced Fireball, Destructive Fireball, Greater Chain Lightning, Destructive Chain Lightning. These all got some changes to them. Firebolt generates 2 mana when hitting an enemy. Casting Fireball increases its radius by 50%. Destructive Fireball, the critical strike damage is increased by 20%. This bonus is increased to 30 if Fireball hits at least 3 enemies. Greater Chain Lightning. Each time Chain Lightning bounces, it deals 5% increased damage for its duration. And Destructive Chain Lightning, chance to form crackling energy increases from 25 to 30. Passives, Veer's Mastery, Isu's Ferocity, and Combustion all got some changes to them. The Paragon board has seen a lot of work, and I did mention that in the notes earlier. Searing Heat Legendary Node, casting Fireball or Meteor increases your critical strike chance by 5% for 5 seconds, up to 15%. Territorial Rare Glyph, damage reduction increased from 10 to 15. The Warding Rare Glyph, the reduction is 13 to 25. Damage reduction increased from 4 to 5 on the Keeper of Flames Rare Node. Damage reduction, damage reduction, damage reduction. So there's a lot of damage reduction in there for the Sorcerers, which is fantastic. The Lightning Resilience Rare Node, maximum life bonus increased from 4 to 6%. 2 points there. Holy cow on the legendaries. It looks like almost every aspect has been changed in some way or another. The Serpentine one, you can have an additional Hydra active, and Hydra's duration is increased by 14 to 24%. And this now also affects Hydra's enchantment effect. Ooh. I may have to change my Sorceress a little bit. See, a lot of this seems to be around fire and lightning. My poor Frost girl, she's not getting much love this time around, but hopefully that changes in the future. Yeah, Ball Lightning, Chain Lightning, Chain Lightning. Bonus movement speed from 4 to 8 on the charged aspect. Bounding Conduit, Electric. Ugh, God. Aspect of Frozen Orbit, damage increased from 20 to 30 to 30 to 40. I don't think I used that one. Snow Veiled Aspect, Unstoppable duration increases from 2 to 3 seconds from 3 to 5. Added functionality also grants 10% bonus armor for 3 to 5 seconds. Snow Guard's Aspect, when within your own blizzard and for 3 seconds after leaving it, you take 20 to 25% less damage. This is one I use from time to time. Aspect of Concentration increases mana regeneration from 20 to 30% to 40 to 50, and duration requirement to gain its benefit reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. The unique change, Gloves of the Illuminator, damage penalty reduced from 65 to 55, down to 45 to 35%. Damage to stunned affix replaced with Lucky Hit, change to restore resource. And Illuminator's first bounce occurs much closer to the player. So here's something interesting, the monster update. So, monster density. We are increasing monster density in Nightmare Dungeons and in Helltide. Fantastic. Thank you. You know, more monsters, that's more opportunities to get equipment, gold, and most importantly, more experience. But here's some interesting stuff, and I don't know why they're doing this, but bosses above level 60 will have more health. And here's the example. 60 and below is going to remain unchanged. At level 80, they're going to have 50% more health. At level 100, they're going to have 100% more health at 120, 120, and at 150, 150. So the bosses are going to be a little chunkier and a little tougher, I guess, to take down. Bosses and events, level 35 and higher boss monsters will now have a 100% chance to drop a legendary item. Thank you. Treasure Goblins now have an increased legendary drop rate chance from levels 6 to 14, and they guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 15. So that's well on the way to making the goblins a little more fun and worthwhile, because right now they're kind of hit or miss. Legion events are now more rewarding and guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 35. Awesome. General, they've made multiple improvements on damage and other effects interact with active barriers, bonus damage, or bonus effects that are applied on hit or when dealing damage will now apply that same effect through barriers. So an example here is the Exploit Paragon Glyph will now apply vulnerable to enemies that have an active barrier. So that's going to go through the barrier to still apply the status effect, which is cool. Cheat death effects are going to work properly now when the player has an active barrier. It'll work in PvP. Varshan will break through bone wall segments. The cost for refunding skill and Paragon points has been reduced up to 40% at level 100. So at lower levels, not so much, but it's significantly cheaper at those levels anyway. They've increased the stack limit for elixirs from 20 to 99, which is awesome. And they've added an additional stash tab, which can be purchased at the stash with gold, but it's universal. I was hoping for a personal one. I'm hoping in the future they give us a personal one. I think a personal stash per character is a must-have. Just saying. Because if you think about it, that extra stash tab is across your whole account. So once it's full, it's full. But if every character had their own individual tab, some guys could hoard stuff and keep it away, and still have that room for the other characters. So if you had like if you made a mule character, for instance, and you just wanted to fill his stash tab with aspects, or something like that, they wouldn't show up for everybody, and it wouldn't have to be in his inventory. They would be in his stash tab. So, but whatever. We've restored the cast time to leave dungeon back to 3 seconds. This is great. A lot of people raised hell about this, and it's kind of annoying. The developer's note here, leave dungeon ability was being used as another method of easy escape from danger in dungeons, particularly for hardcore players. However, they recognize that this is outweighed by the downside of the game feeling less responsive. We've heard your feedback and are reversing this change. Kind of funny, right? It's only 2 seconds, but it does make a difference. Malignant Heart's Caged Heart of Spellbreaking changed to, upon taking elemental damage, gain 10 to 20% damage reduction for 5 seconds. And generic unique items. Temerity got some love. All stats affix replaced with max life. Barrier is now based on max life and now properly accounted by conditions checking for the player having a barrier. So it seems like they made that item a little more focused, I guess would be a good word for it. Tons of bug fixes from accessibility to cooperative play, dungeons, gameplay, each character. Boom, down to the general tab. Boom. Monsters. Fix an issue where elite enemies with the teleporter affix could teleport from off-screen and deal excessive damage. Thank you for that. Nothing sucks worse than dying in the game and not knowing what killed you. Like having somebody teleport from off-screen and just destroy you instantly. It's like it's, you know, at the risk of sounding like a child, it's unfair. You know, it's unfair. You can't defend against something like that. And they fixed an issue where the tusked charger enemies could still damage the player after dying. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, no. And they fixed an issue where corpse spawn enemy wouldn't attack the player, and an issue where the Majub monster was more difficult to defeat than intended. Quests have been fixed, a lot of stuff done to the Season of the Malignant, the shop and the battle pass, the UI, and then a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff down here below. So overall, this sounds like a very good start to some of the changes they were talking about. Now, there is some stuff missing from here, and that's been addressed on Reddit and on Twitter. Stuff like the cooldown for the horse and other little things that have been mentioned. And these guys said there may be stuff added to this before August 8th. There may be some changes and updates to it. And they've also got some hot fixes planned. So, you know, if you don't see something on there that was mentioned or talked about, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to see it in the game anytime soon. So tell me down below in the comments what you think about these changes. Are you excited about them? Are you still disappointed in the game? I know there's a lot of negativity out there for this game. I'm loving it. I think it's a lot of fun. I play it pretty much daily. I've got my seasonal character up to level 70, and my poor sorceress is struggling along in the 90s right now, working her way up to level 100. It sounds like once this patch comes out, she's going to have a little less of a hard time in that World Tier 4 and be able to maybe advance a little bit further than she's been going right now. So if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It's a huge help for me. And I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.